Today, episode number 14. So we're going to be talking about some tips for IBC. For those who do not know, IBC is a really wonderful business opportunity and real life experience that you get to have at BYU, Idaho. It stands for Integral Business Core, I believe. You get to work with a bunch of other students to make a company, make a product, and just go for it. And you get to actually pitch your company to a bank here in Rexburg, and they tell you about your idea, and it's super cool. And at the time, I was thinking about some like product ideas and stuff. So to see it all go through the process, trial and error, and the refiner's fire and all that stuff was super interesting to me. And although I haven't made a product myself yet still, and I am working on a book. Anyway, so I've talked to a lot of people doing IBC or have done IBC, and they gave me some really amazing tips for how they made it through IBC. Some of them just did super well, and some of them just learned a ton from it. My company was called Outdoorish. Shout out to the Outdoorish team. We did solar power chargers and hammocks, and we sewed on these little bags on the inside of them so you could put your shoes or whatever in them. I still have my hammock. I haven't used it. I need to use it. I really need to use it. When I get back home, I'll definitely use it for sure. Without any further ado, let's hop into these tips. 30 plus IBC success tips coming your way. First, we'll go with mine really fast. So first, you got to get to know your team. I'm a big believer that you are in the team you're in for a reason. Your team is, I don't know, just God has a hand in everything. And my team, I was thinking about this earlier. My team, there was times in my IBC semester that, I was taking IBC and I was also taking 2 online classes. So it was like 15 credits, I think, or it was 14, something like that. It was a lot of work. And there's some days where, and just with IBC, it changes up almost every day what you're doing. And you're thinking about IBC almost all the time. Those who have done IBC or in IBC, you know what I'm talking about. There's times my team, they were angels for me. Or my sensei, Brother Lundin. Shout out to him. He is awesome. That's number 2. Get to know your sensei. So Brother Lundin had us over for like a strategy meeting at his house, and we had breakfast. And I remember having a really long prayer in the bathroom because I often will pray in the bathroom. I don't know. It's just quiet. And I did that a lot on my mission too. It was just a funny little habit I picked up there. And yeah, I still do it. Usually before I go back outside, I just say a little prayer. Get on my knees, But I remember being kind of hungry, and Brother Lundin was like, if you want more pancakes, Dallin, just say it. And I was like, I want more pancakes. And he made me tons more pancakes just for me. And from that moment, I was like, all right, Brother Lundin, I got you. He cared so much about all of us and his students and the IBC program and everything that he was willing to make that little sacrifice. And later on in the semester, I'd get help from him for getting help with the IBC finance exam. I talked with him a lot about that and got help, and I just would go and talk to him sometimes during his office hours and whatnot, and he's always willing to talk with me and just kind of be real with me. It was really good, and he helped me discover some things about myself that I need to know at that time. 3 is prayer. We kind of went over that. IBC is a difficult experience, and for me, being a future entrepreneur, I'm definitely going to be relying on prayer hardcore. Yeah, you just kind of have to keep going. And when you have a good idea of what you want to do, you need to act on that thing, even if it, is going to be a little difficult. Sometimes you have to do what's best for the company. And that kind of goes along with tip number 4, treat your teammates well. You'll get to see them in a different way if you help them out, because they're all going through the experience like you are. They have different skills going into it, but they still need your help. So make sure you treat them well. I'm still in touch with a lot of my teammates, and some of them gave me tips for this episode. Begin with the end in mind. You want to think ahead of for your company and what you can do for it. If you want to get to that week 9, the final week that you're dreaming of, you have to do things in week 1 to prepare for it. Tip number 6, ask questions. They are here to help you, and that goes for anybody in IBC, any of the teachers. They're all willing to help you out. Even if you want to ask me stuff, like if you see me on campus or something, or you want to just hit me up on Instagram, sure, just go for it. I'm always up for people bouncing ideas off of me. Just go for it. Number 7 is to make the most of it. You want IBC to look good. There's some people that don't have the best taste in their mouth with IBC because of things that IBC students have done in the past, like renting equipment and not returning it, et cetera, et cetera. So just be different, be that person that, makes people respect IBC a little bit more. Because everybody are still people. And even when you're out of IBC, you'll still see some of the people that you meet when you're doing IBC. And I'm saying that from experience. There's been a couple people I met from doing IBC that were our customers that I still see all the time. And I still say hi to them and they still say hi to me. So yeah. Number 7, this is kind of more of a life tip too, is like just figuring out your system, working on it, do what you need to do so you can give 100% to your company. And make R&D your life. Like, keep looking for how you can improve yourself. Keep looking for how you can give more to the company. Keep bouncing ideas off of members in your company. Good example of this was we launched a Outdoorish YouTube channel, but it was literally like week 8 when we did that. And so there really wasn't much time for it to grow. I wish we'd done that week 1, especially since our marketing team, that rotation, had some amazing commercials. Oh, they were so good. And I feel like that could have really helped us out in the beginning. So just don't hold anything back. And make sure you follow the rules, obviously. But don't hide any of those talents under a bushel. Put them to work. And now let's get into the tips from my friends. So we got this tip from Marcelo. He's been in the Rexburg Salt Fix life lately. And his team has experienced a lot of success with IBC. So here's his tip. Be involved and go beyond. If you're in your finance rotation, you can help with operations. If you're in operations, you can help with marketing the business. Be open-minded and go the second mile. During my time in operations, I would see an increase in our sales, check if our marketing strategies were working, and give feedback to the finance and marketing departments. I made an effort to post on social media about our successes, which brought us more clients and more revenue. Don't do what you are supposed to do. Go beyond. So I like Marcelo's tip because it's basically about making sure that you make the most of this experience while you have it. Because now, IBC is something you only do once. You only IBC once, So you got to make the most of it, Do those little things. Plan now for what you're going to do so your IBC experience is the best that it can be. Take some notes on this episode and write some stuff down. You'll get a lot out of it. Next, we have Julius. So he was a IBC student when I was doing it, and he's super awesome. He did Buffalo Bites, and it was in the STC, Science and Technology building. He said, setting daily goals and accounting for them the next day or morning before you open the business, cross-training, even though making sure that specialization is the way you conduct your business. This will help at any time you need to make adjustments. So I like this because you need to make sure that you do what's best for your business, the unique things that you need to do to make it work. Like for us with hammocks, we had to set up hammocks and we had to learn the best way to do that. And sometimes the right people that were best at setting up the hammocks were doing other stuff. So you just have to kind of make the most of it. I really like the idea of setting daily goals. Like that's so much easier said than done. Do you know how many times I've like planned for my whole day and I just do one or two things and I completely forget about the plan? Happens way too much. All right, the 10th tip is from Brenton. He's in IBC right now. He said, my best tip is when you're in the marketing or R&D rotation to back up all of your ideas with data, take surveys, see if people are interested in your ideas, sell what the people want, not what you want. This is right on the money because before we launched Outdoorish, we were thinking of selling picnic baskets, and we tried doing some R&D for those things, and we found they were a big flop. Because one guy was like, we showed him this kickball and this football, and it was all in this nice picnic basket that I got to keep, which was nice. I haven't used it yet, though. I haven't gone on any picnics. Anyway, this guy was like, yeah, I'd pay $5 for it. And we're like, dude, this cost us like $35 to get all this stuff at Walmart. So then we switched over to hammocks, and we tried maybe doing Bluetooth speakers. And so you need to find out what the people want. Absolutely. 11. This is from Trent Nguyen. He's awesome as well. I think he did Rexadia or something a couple semesters ago. And he's just a good guy. He's helped me out in the past. His tip is planning is key, but execution is king. Kind of going along with my thing. You need a planning's great, but like actually doing it is what will get you the progress, obviously. Then we got 2 tips right here from Cole Kibler. Cole was one of the TAs for finance. He really went the extra mile and helped us out on those days when we had to close the books, and like he went the extra mile. So here are his tips. Hey Dallin, sounds like a good episode. Advice I would give would be that the most important thing about IBC is giving it your all, not only in the assignments, but also in involving your team. If you treat everyone in your team with respect and love, you'll build lasting relationships and have a fun semester. So basically kind of like what we were talking about before, but mostly just giving it your all and making sure from the very second you meet those people, you are building a relationship with them. Like right when I got into IBC, this is a minor spoiler, Brother Lundin's like, all right, this is what I want you to do, and you have an hour to make a product and come back. And it was just like an exercise to try something out, and it was a lot of fun. I still keep in touch with those guys. They've helped me out, and they gave me some tips. Cole also said, don't think of the course as just a class. Embrace the structure of the course, and you will learn a lot about the outside world. Hope that helps your podcast. It's perfect, Cole, because, you do learn a lot from IBC. You need to be able to respect the deadlines. You need to hold up your end of the bargain, or else your whole business is just going to tank. Not like the whole business is going to tank, but whole business is going to sag. That's right way to say it. You'll notice. Like I was in marketing the first rotation, and I was VP of sales, and I talked about a lot of different stuff, but I wasn't very good at implementing it. And so when our marketing was like, you guys need to do more marketing, or marketing's not that great, I was like, yeah, that's partly on me. I've done a lot, but I didn't do enough of the stuff I needed to do, if that makes sense. Now we have Amber from my group. She was really great. We have a tip from Amber. This is tip number 14. She said, I think IBC is a great platform to just go for it. Try out different ideas, whether it's methods for selling, new products, advertising, and promotions. If it doesn't go well, that's okay. You learn from it and you move on. The school is investing in your growth and learning. Hope this is helpful. Way to be, Dallin, writing books and starting podcasts. You're awesome. Thanks, Amber. Caleb he was their CFO at one point. He was really great. He said, I think it's important for the students going into it to be patient, open-minded, and understanding. This is a new and completely different class than most people are used to. Students learn and do things at different paces and in different ways. By taking time to get to know your teammates on a personal level, you understand how they work and how they can benefit the team in a way that no one else on the team can. Christ is the perfect teacher and example. One personal lesson I take from his ministry is the importance of the individual, the one-by-one approach. I think by following that same style of living and teaching the students and teams can find success out of a classroom setting and truly get the most out of this class. At the end of the day, it's still a class. Don't take it too seriously. Have fun, make friends, make memories. Me and Caleb did that. There's one day that was like, it was really cold out and it was raining. Me and him just took a selfie. It was fun. And he drove me back home a bunch of times. So Amber also said, this is tip number 16. Just a good little thought. I feel like God has a hand in who's in your group, so you can definitely learn from them. You might work super well together, or they will test your patience and understanding. It's beneficial either way. Then we have Adam Linham. He did lit candles. I think it was a semester before me. This is a really good tip, so listen up if you would like. We all decided the goal for us was to get an A in the class. This might sound obvious, but it was key to us learning quicker and getting a head start on some of the other companies. The first thing we realized all the way up to the retreat is that each one of us had strengths to help build the company, and we played off of those. The second thing is we decided to cut the fluff. Our sensei said we can decide positions tonight and have a nice dinner, or we can meet up tomorrow morning and have pizza tonight. We cut to the chase and organized ourselves by strengths and tried to evenly spread our teams with someone who could lead each team each round. So they planned out a lot of this in advance. We got to take a day off the next day to regroup. Next lesson to getting an A was we adapt or we die. We failed quickly in order to find success. We'd find what worked best and stick with it. We started out as a team to beat, and I think that helped two other companies do really well, especially Silver Lining's rough start. An amazing finish. Awesome. Thank you, Adam. I think those tips are really good for students. Is just you want to have a group vision as a team. Next, we get some tips from Brenton at Toasties this semester. I thought this was very interesting. He said, you need to have honest conversations with yourself and add more to the company. I asked him to elaborate on this. He's like, I talk with myself about how I'm doing and about what I'm giving to the company, and you just got to check up with yourself about things. Make sure you're not going too crazy, but you want to be yourself. You want to have a good time. You also want to learn and grow a lot. He also said spend a lot of money on marketing in the beginning. And this, he explained, was because of the weeks of usefulness of that marketing. If you do a lot of marketing in the beginning, then the fruits of that marketing will be around for a lot longer. For example, if you hang up posters around campus, then they'll be up. They can be up there for a lot longer. They'll be up for a pretty long time, so a lot of people will see them, as opposed to if you get marketing like week 5 and not as many people see them. So take advantage of those weeks of usefulness. Take the time. There's times in Outdoorish's lifespan, honestly, when we'd kind of, at least from my perspective, we would kind of just fill in the gap. There's a gap, we need to make a poster, so we do it. And I think we could have put more heart into those things, but honestly, a lot of that was me. I could have done more, but you can always do more, right? And I think the weeks of usefulness is a great tip, so I hope you guys use that. He said, remember everyone, this is tip number 20, remember everyone is learning. You cannot expect perfection. And that's a very good thought too. Haley from Batter Up, and they have some pretty good waffles. Toasty's food is good too. I've had both of them this semester. They're both good. Haley said, respect your CEO. They're doing the best they can, and that's a load I didn't have to carry when I was in IBC. All of our CEOs handled it with grace, and I was very thankful for them doing that. Also, treating one another as equals. You're going to need all the help you can get, so make sure you treat them well and you show your appreciation for them. And Isaac from Toasties, this is tip number 24. You just need to synergize and get along with people. Like, make sure that you do those little things to reach out to them. The semester's like a 3-month-long period, so there'll probably be some birthdays. You can go the extra mile and get to know your classmates outside of class. I try to see some of the people and say hello and, not make it just about the class, because you need to have some break time. We had some times when Jordan Friedel, he does this business called Darts. Shout out to him and his Instagram, DARTZ. He hooked us up with a couple company retreats where we just shot darts at each other, and it was great. Isaac also said to communicate with all the teachers, kind of what I said before. 27, he said to consult with he said that they consulted with Brother Eager because their marketing really wasn't that great. And Brother Eager told him that there's a number of people that see their stuff, that see their banner as they're walking up through the Smith and up through the stairs, He said there's a fraction of the people that walk by it that see it. There's a smaller fraction of that fraction who stop, and there's a smaller fraction of that fraction who actually buy stuff. He's like, you need to increase who sees it, and they improve that a lot. Isaac, or maybe it was Chase, sorry. It says, don't get too stressed out. Focus on the board presentations. It's true. The board presentations are a very important part of your grade. They look at how well you present the information, how well you tell the story of your company and how it's doing, and especially your learning experiences. I remember one of our board presentations, our numbers were not that great, but we had learned a ton that rotation, and we were looking forward to killing it the next rotation. So we got a better grade than we would have gotten. So just stay positive. At the same time, you got to be innovating. You got to be working hard, just like Marcelo's tip said. His 29th tip is don't over forecast the revenue. He said that when we did it, they were going for one of the highest revenues in IBC history. And now they've been kind of holding them to that standard. That's good, but you want to make sure that everybody's on board with that. And you got to put in the work to get that kind of an impact, It's got to become more than just a class. It's got to be like you're treating it like an actual business. Like when you're on the clock, that you're actually trying to interact with customers and make their day and sell your product and get it in their face, but not in a mean way, but help them see the benefits, and you got to learn. You got to keep learning and taking notes and everything like that. That's something I tried to do when I was the VP of sales, was we try to do different methods of approaching people and sharing the product as they walked by, and getting it in their hands was a big one. That's how I personally sold a number of them, was just getting it in their hands, and you just try out different stuff. It's fun. And Matt from Boom Toasted gave us our last tip, number 30. Have a personal vision and combine it with your team vision. I think that's awesome, because if you have a member of your group that's really focused on doing something that's not going to contribute to the company, it is eventually going to drag the team down a little bit. And you don't want any rivalries rivalries. I can't say that word right now. It's a struggle. Anyway, you don't want that. It's not worth it. Pray for your teammates, please. I did that a lot. I had some that I really wanted to love more. I cared about them, but I wanted to love them more. And so I prayed for them. And I'd be put into situations where I could share that love for them, and worked out. It was good. And I was able to help them recognize their strengths and them me as well. And there's so many people that I met in IBC, like not even just like some of the students in IBC that I met the semester I did it, I think really fondly of and I met. And yeah, just IBC is an amazing experience. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. I really do appreciate it. IBC taught me a lot. I'm very thankful for the experience, and I've been able to move forward in life with a little bit more confidence with what I was able to accomplish in IBC. And there were so many times, I'm not going to share the experiences, but there were so many times when I pray or the Lord would help me out in some way, whether it was with a board presenting thing where I needed to present or something like that. So I know for myself, that like before that spring semester started, I was really kind of stressing of what I was going to do. And I hopped in the shower and I got out. I was like, I'll just do IBC because I can do that. And there's no way like I wouldn't be able to get in. It'd work out. And so that's what I did. I just did IBC in 2 online classes. It was perfect. And the Lord helped me out through it. There was times when I was like, I don't think I can do this. I'm only a first semester sophomore and everything like that. And there was people younger than me in there, obviously, for sure. But for me, myself, I didn't think I could do it. But the Lord sees differently, okay? I know he sees differently. He sees us not as who we are, but as who we can become. I think I've brought up this quote before, but I'll just bring it up again because it's amazing. It's Joseph B. Wirthlin. He was one of the previous general authorities of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He said, I love this quote. All right, are you ready for this? Joseph B. Wirthlin, he said, "We see ourselves in terms of yesterday and today. Our Heavenly Father sees us in terms of forever. Although we might settle for less, Heavenly Father won't. For he sees us as the glorious beings we are capable of becoming." That is so amazing to me. And oh my goodness, you get to see another side of the picture in IBC. And now being out of IBC, I just have a lot more compassion for the IBC students this semester. And I've met a lot of them. A lot of them I met while getting tips for this podcast episode. And I'm thankful for each of them. Thankful for each of you guys for listening to this podcast and for helping me out with sharing the Yield Today podcast and mindset. Know that everything is going to work out with God's help and that he sees you as somebody who can do some great stuff. You just need to keep trusting in him. And for me, IBC was a great time to get my creativity out, meet some people, get out there, and it's helped me become a much better person. And I know that can happen for you too. Apply some of these tips, write them down, make a plan, get it done, yield today. Yes, I envision love demonstrated today. Don't delay.